All right, let's move on to Michigan. And let's not get this twisted. I know we got a lot of Illinois listeners, and I love you, Illinois. Daddy Brad, he's my dad. Look, I don't want to get it twisted. I am a Michigan fan. I'll make it clear. There's been some questions, some confusion. I am a Michigan basketball fan, and it's been a rough offseason. I'm just a Michigan basketball fan who's unafraid to say when Illinois does great things. Every other Michigan fan wants to downplay what they do. I'm not. I'll be honest. Illinois has had an elite offseason. Michigan's had an okay to bad offseason, Cart. They got Jalen Llewellyn. I don't really like Jalen Llewellyn. And then they really didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to the point that Spartan Hoops DK got his little Twitter fingers out, was liking some tweets about how Michigan's biggest rival is the transfer portal. Well, Michigan lands a transfer a day after that happened. They land Joey Baker from Duke, who falls right into my Matt Bogrich test. How many minutes would Matt Bogrich play on your team? If it's over 15, your team's bad. I think that applies to Joey Baker. I think Michigan's likely to see Joey Baker in a 25-minute role, mostly because he can play anywhere between the 2, 3, 4. And I don't think Kobe Buffkin or Juwan Howard or Terrence Williams are going to be good enough to all be 30, 32 minutes a game players. So even like if those guys all play 30, there's still 30 minutes behind them that Joey Baker might need to play. But if, God forbid, Kobe Buffkin's bad again, then all of a sudden Joey Baker has to play 30 minutes for your team. You've been higher on Joey all along than I have been in this process. We kind of felt like he was going to end up at Michigan. And then all of a sudden, last minute, he visited Michigan and was like, I don't know, and flirted with some much smaller schools. Then he just commits to Michigan. Are you, like, if I'm a Michigan fan, should I be happy with this or should I be terrified?
I mean, I've been an advocate for Joey Baker, like you said. Just as far as I think he's a guy you can add that if you got to fill some minutes, like you add a guy who, came from the Duke program. He was a top 100 guy coming out of high school. That was a while ago, but he was that guy. He's had moments and spurts where he's been able to knock down shots, shoot the ball, and be a serviceable, college basketball player, a high major college basketball player. So I think that it's a situation where them adding him, I don't think it really does anything. I think it's not a negative, but it can certainly be a positive thing. I think it's an older guy. He's been there. I don't know. It feels like a low. I don't know what the actual term is, but he's like a low maintenance guy. Like you don't got to worry about Joey Baker. Your team GPA is going to be fine. Probably going up with him. He's going to do great things in the community. And he might fuck around and get in the game and knock down at a 40% clip. Like it's all good.
Okay, so while I'm going to downplay excitement for Joey Baker individually, I am going to pivot in a moment and say some positive things about Michigan for the first time in like a month and a half. I think at best Joey Baker gives you like a 4-man Stu Douglas, maybe like a Stu Douglas without the you don't have to worry about him bringing the ball up court thing. Like, can he just stand in the corner and make 39% from 3? I'm very confident he can do that. Can he do anything else? Not so much. But now here's the thing, though. Are we sure that just getting like 4 dudes that can just catch and shoot 39% from 3 around Hunter Dickinson isn't a better roster fit than what they had last year?
I've been an advocate for just surround your All-American with shooters.
So here I'm fighting myself because I've been critical of Jalen Llewellyn. I don't think he's going to be very good. I've been critical of Joey Baker. I don't think he's going to be very good. As long as Jalen Llewellyn and Joey Baker are like 36% shooters from 3 that get 4 attempts up a game, and Kobe Buffkin can shoot and Juwan Howard can shoot, that might be better than what Michigan had last year. Like, I think it seems like they're just, okay, we have one more year of Hunter Dickinson. We got to get everybody off the roster that can't shoot by Frankie Collins. And let's just get guys in that can shoot. We don't care if they can do anything else. Hunter, we're going to play through you every single possession. You're a good passer and you're a bucket. And if teams want to double Hunter Dickinson, he'll kick and someone's going to get a wide open 3. Like I'm sort of excited for that because that is essentially what they had 2 years ago when they were really good with Mike Smith, with Chauncey Brown, with Isaiah Livers. The difference is, I mean, Isaiah's in the NBA, Franz Wagner's in the NBA. I don't know that you have those guys on this team, but it's still a better formula, right?
It's a little bit of a stretch, I think, to say that this year's team would be better. But I do agree with the sentiment as far as I see the vision as far as you having a guy like Hunter and surrounding himself with shooters. I hate that somehow it's flipped to the switch on this podcast and like I defend like adding Jalen Llewellyn and I'm over advocating for Joey Beck. Like, is this what I am? Just
No, you're honest. My objectivity and my willingness to be honest when rivals do good things is wearing off on you, and that's why people enjoy listening to
this
it.
is ass. Then I want to go back to my old self.
It's okay. Soon, actually, it's been like 3 weeks since we've even had a Michigan State segment on one of these shows, but I guess that's what happens when your coach calls it off.
He got shit to talk about.
There's nothing going on. We can debate if they have the best backcourt in the Big Ten, though. We'll do that at some point. Maybe we'll do that next week, Michigan State fans. Just last thing, though, so you said you think it's a little bit of a stretch that they'll be better. Do you mean better than last season's team that was on the bubble?
I meant better than I just feel like last year's team was way more talented. They just weren't. They weren't better though. But I don't know. Like if I'm picking a game to win and I'm picking between last year's team and this year's team coming up, I'm gonna pick last year's team 10 times out of 10. I'm gonna ride with that.
See, I think last year's team is the type of team you and I would lose a bunch of money on because we think they should be better than they are because they have all the talent, but the fit never made sense, right? That's sort of the point. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you just from watching Michigan, I'm excited to see Hunter Dickinson surrounded by 4 shooters at all times. Like if the worst shooter on the court next to Hunter Dickinson is going to be Terrence Williams this year, last year he was one of the better shooters on the court with Hunter, and that made for really big problems. And look, a lot's going to be asked of Hunter. I think that's what Hunter wants. We'll see. We'll see if Hunter can really be the alpha dog first team All-American on a good team again. Didn't work out that way last year, but we identified that it was because the pieces around him made it very hard on him. I think this year, every decision Juwan Howard has made has been with Hunter Dickinson's best interest in mind. And that's a good way to build a roster is you have one star, make sure things work around that star.
Yeah. So. And what comes with that is a little more responsibility. Like I get like you get your All-American Hunter Dickinson, but we can also point to many games last year where he disappeared for halves and honestly games. Yeah. So he can't have that this year. So, they're doing everything for you. Now it's time for him to come with his end of the deal. And, I'm sure he will. I mean, obviously I talk about last year, him disappearing for halves. At the end of the day, he was still having All-American type numbers. So
I think I'm almost this close to officially going on record that this is a big Hunter Dickinson resurgence year. Because last year, like, I think you and I were in front of it last year. Like, we went to media day and we came home being like, this ain't the guy. Like, a little worried here. I'm this close to flipping hard on that and being like, oh, watch out. I'm this close. I'm not all the way there yet.
Are you talking like resurgence? Like, we're getting like Hunter, like 60 from the field, 40 from 3?
No.
On 4 attempts?
No, but I am talking like he's not just the same player from last year. Like, he's like, I think he could approach like, I don't know. I think he could get 20 and 10 and 3 at the college. Why not? Like last year, there was some NBA mouths to feed that weren't good mouths to feed. Just leave it at that. Next year, if the way this roster appears to be built right now, Cart, there's not really anybody who's going to think this ain't Hunter Dickinson's team, right? Like, and I think, honestly, everybody else that's going to be on the floor, the best version of themselves is playing off of Hunter Dickinson. Right. So, like, if Hunter's touching the ball every possession, can we see, like, some Luka Garza type shit where he's just that dominant? Like, Luka had more in his bag offensively than Hunter does, but I don't know. I think the way this roster is built is really going to benefit him, and we're going to see a jump. We'll see. I'm this close. I'm not there yet, but I'm this close to being, like, National Player of the Year watch. We'll see.
Jeez.